Hello viewers, this is the chapter number 26, part number 2, which is on the request of the viewer Fike. And if anyone wants to request for making any video or to understand any chapter from this Oxford book, so you can write a comment below in this section. Now let's start this part number 2. Young Jack smiled and said, "I think it's a special kind of airplane." As he spoke, a plane appeared high above them, dropping straight through the smoke clouds. And he smiled. And he smiled why? He was happy because he think that an aeroplane of any special kind of they which were reached there for helping them. And as he spoke, a plane appeared high above them, dropping straight through the smoke clouds. "Look," cried Peter. "It's dropping vertically. It's a helicopter." Young Jack nodded and said, "It belongs to the army." Now after that, plane appeared above them and dropping straight down there. Why it is saying? Because they are closing down straightly, vertically towards them from the smoky clouds. And Peter said, "Look," Peter said loudly, "Look, it's dropping vertically. It's a helicopter." And he is correcting the others that it's not aeroplane, it's a helicopter. Young Jack nodded and said, nodded means young Jack moved his head and said, "It belongs to the army and it often helps the forestry department." And he told them that this aeroplane comes to help the forestry department. "And I expect the pilot will drop straight on to us when he sees us. We must all wave something to attract attention." It means, he said that "I expect," it means his expectation or his thinking was that the pilot will drop straight towards. It means the helicopter will directly came down towards the ground for helping them. So in order to get help from them, so for that they have to show something or to grab the attention from them. So we must all have something to attract. He took off his shirt again and waved it while the others waved handkerchiefs, hats and coats. So he took off his shirt for moving and waving, and the others handkerchiefs, hats and coats for grabbing the attention of the helicopter. A helicopter dropped slowly towards them until it was only about 20 or 30 feet above them. Then the helicopter came nearer to them, for very nearer to them. Then, like some huge flying insect, it stayed almost motionless in the air, with its engine roaring and its large horizontal propeller turning steadily. Now it came nearer to them. It was looking like a huge insect in the air, which is, you can see in the air, the insects were staying in the air on the same position, just like the helicopter. And motionlessly, it means still on the same position in the air, and the sound of the engine was coming. Roaring means sound of the engine, and propeller means the flying wings of the helicopter turning steadily, continuously. It means the pilot leaned out and waved to them. Leaned out means to bend his head. Pilot leaned out, he bent his head and waved to them. He moved his hand towards them. Then a door in the bottom of the plane opened and a package fell down very close to them. right in the middle of the tongue of the land. And after the waving of the pilot, the things, the packages, you can say the boxes fell down towards them on the ground. Young Jack ran and opened it. It contained packets of food, several blankets, and a large envelope. He tore open the envelope and read a letter from Mr. Mann, telling them that the rescue party could not reach them right owing to the ring of fire. Now, where Jack ran for hurry for opening the letter, and here the things he opened, the packets of foods were there, blankets and other things, and a envelope here. Young Jack ran to open that packets. The packets contained the food, several blankets, and an envelope. So he tore. It means he break the paper for opening the envelope, and there is a letter. There was a letter from the Mr. Mann, which was for telling them that the rescue party could not reach them right now, and because of owning of ring of fire, it means the fire was too high at that time, the blazing fire. So that's why the helicopter could not come down on the ground. The helicopter would take back some of them and the rest should get into the lake, if necessary, to escape the fire. And in this letter also it was written that just they were coming, the helicopter was there for taking back some of them to rescue them, but the rest of them should get into the lake. It means should stay there for escaping the fire. There is something written in pencil on the envelope, said Betty. Young Jack read it out. Flying conditions were very bad, only able to carry back one person tonight. The helicopter was still hovering noisily above them. As they looked up, a rope was lowered to the ground. Now the things which was written in the letter, was in the bold letters. Just the condition was very bad for there to able to carry just one person tonight in the helicopter. And still the helicopter was in the air and making the sound of hovering, means making a sound of his engine, and they looked up a rope which was lowered to the ground. As it's lowered, an end which was a kind of seat made of netting with a strong leather strap. And suddenly what happened then, the rope which was came down from the helicopter, and there at the end of the rope the netting was made of the strong leather strap, with a strong leather strap for holding a person. Mr. Ali looked quickly round the party. Youngest first, he said. Get in, Betty, quickly. Mr. Ali told them the youngest first. It means the youngest in that group. The Betty is the youngest person in that group. Betty hesitated. It means he stopped for going there, but at the same time young Jack came near. His cousin had put her on the seat and had fastened the leather strap around her. The rope was slowly drawn up with. It means the cousin came too near to him and he put the Betty on it and he fastened the belts of leather around her for going upward in the aeroplane. Then the rope, Betty swinging in the air above them, she held on tightly with both hands and looking down. She cried out cheerfully, "I'm fine." And now what happened then? The Betty go upside towards the aeroplane side, and then she was okay and cheer out loudly, and she was telling them that she is fine. And in a few moments she had been pulled up into the plane and disappeared. The others stood below, waving goodbye to their surprise. Rope came down. Again with a second message from the pilot, room for one more small person. Now, now the battery disappeared and she arrived in the aeroplane, and then again the message came from the pilot to for one person more, small person more, or going in the helicopter. Up you go, Henry, said Mr. Ali. Then Mr. Ali told them, Henry, you have to go there. In a few minutes, Henry had been pulled up into the helicopter, and the pilot leaned out and waved, and gradually the helicopter began to rise vertically in the air, disappearing into the thick clouds of smoke. Now the pilot leaned out, waved, and gradually. It means the pilot put his hand downward and waved his hand, and gradually the helicopter began to rise. It means it was again going to upside in the sky and disappearing in the thick clouds of smoke. So this is the chapter number 26.